what's up? Awesome channel here, doing some quarantine projects. What I decided to do was mess around a little bit with the roof rack situation on the GX470. I think I may have mentioned it, if not, in the video introducing the car. Was when I bought the vehicle, it was missing these two caps that went on the back end of the roof rack. Very minor. I got both of these. They were black, unpainted, off of Amazon, or actually I got them off of eBay for around $28 shipped. So getting these was not an issue, and it was actually kind of great because it was something that I could point out as a flaw in the car, something I would need to replace. So it helped for bargaining as well on the price. So what I did is I ordered these in, and I ordered the Blizzard White Pearl, and didn't even make a video of this. I didn't think that I would do anything video-wise of just spray painting these white and throwing them on. I didn't think that would be any real interesting content to put on the channel. But now, here I am, because things got a little bit more interesting as I started to investigate this a little bit further. Painted these the original OEM white, and I knew this had been repainted. I could tell there were some spots along the trim that had been oversprayed, and the paint just looked great for 2005. I thought there's no way that this is the original paint, because it looked great. Do a little bit of research online, and I find out that Lexus and Toyota had actually recalled this pearlescent white that they've been using for these past, I don't know, I think it was about 2002, 2003 maybe. Don't quote me on dates, but it looked like it was all the way up through about 2009 when they were using this paint. There was a factory recall, and all of the vehicles with this color white were recalled. And I think Lexus and Toyota maybe paid to have them repainted during the recall. So if you own a vehicle, you get a slip in the mail. They probably reimburse maybe up to a certain amount of payment for you getting this resprayed at some designated shop or some dealership. Don't know what happened with this vehicle since I bought it used. I don't have a whole lot of history on the paint. But it was definitely painted a different color white than the OEM white. So it's great because it's repainted, and it would have been in awful condition had it not been repainted. I'm sure it would have been peeling, because that's what I read online, is that there was a lot of peeling with this paint. So what I did is I decided, okay, well, that sucks. I painted these white and it doesn't match, and my OCD does not allow me to just throw these on there. It's pretty close, but it's not fully there. And it just bothers me, and I don't know, something about this paint, I just feel like if I'm going to be throwing stuff up on the roof rack, I've got kayaks, bikes, and I don't know, I just feel like I can see this getting scratched up. I can see the roof rack itself, the current paint that's on there, getting scratched up. And so I decided, the reason I'm making this video is I decided I want to try something out and go with completely respraying the entire roof rack assembly itself. I'm going to go out there in a minute and we'll take it off the roof and bring it in here. We're going to clean it up. But one of the things that I decided I wanted to go with was this Rust-Oleum, not sure if you can see that too well, but it's a Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. And so this is kind of like the Rhino liners and whatever they're calling these coatings nowadays. I remember Rhino liner from when I was a kid. It's textured, so I think the texture might be kind of cool looking. So my goal here is to just paint the whole roof rack with this stuff. I think it's going to look cool with the white car, give it some contrast to the black roof rack. And I kind of planned in the intermediate time, before I get like a legitimate full up roof rack that actually mounts into the tracking system on the roof itself, I was just going to continue to use the OEM roof rack, paint it black with this, get it a little bit more up to the standard of where I want it to be, and I think I might put a basket style cage up there, which will also be black, and it'll probably be like the crinkle finish black. It'll be powder coated black metal, and so this will go with that really well. So yeah, basically this video is to target respraying the entire roof rack so it all matches and looks the same, and that black will look, I think, will look good. We'll find out. Hopefully this stuff holds up well, so I'm sure it will hold up to the small amount of abuse that I will give the roof rack, because I'll probably just be putting kayaks and smaller things up there, so it probably won't get nearly the amount of abuse as a truck bed would. So I think this is going to be cool. I think it's going to be an awesome finish. The truck bed coating. And so, yeah, I guess all I'm going to really plan on doing is go out there. Really all we need is a 12mm socket. There's 4 bolts on each side to get the whole roof rack up. I'll take the middle bars out. They're painted, so I'm going to sand those down, give them a rough little hit with some probably 120 or some real fine grit sandpaper. Then we're going to just go through some simple rubbing alcohol, clean the surface off really good. Then we'll start applying this truck bed coating. So yeah, that's the video for today, and let's get to it. Let's go start taking off the roof rack. Alright, so now we've got both of these pieces inside. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the little rubber feet from the bottom of these. I should have, and if you do this, I recommend, oh, these are slimy and disgusting. Definitely recommend ordering these. I didn't replace these. I kind of wish I had some to throw on here, but for now, I'm going to try to reuse them. These are old, and the rubber itself is kind of, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on my hands, this rubber is deteriorating to the point where just touching it leaves black marks all over your hands. So it's not really the greatest thing to be reusing this, but for now, that's what I'm gonna do. Anyways, so now that we got that taken care of, the 2 front pieces, I have these. They didn't fall off. These were the 2 rear pieces that I bought off eBay, but it was a set actually of replacement for the rear and also a replacement for the front. So I've got double sets of the front. I just did a little test fitment with these newer ones that I ordered online, and they actually have a nicer fitment. And so I was shocked actually. I thought they would kind of have a crappier fitment, but in general they fit better. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to paint just everything. So when it comes down to putting the final assembly back together, I can make the decision then whether or not I want to deal with reusing the original ones or replacing them with these new ones. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just sit all of this stuff off to the side for now and focus on these bars here. These smaller side caps are going to be the easiest to deal with. We just do a light sand on them, clean them with some rubbing alcohol, hit them with primer first, and then we're going to go with the truck bed coating. But for these bars, there's some dirt on them, so, and I also kind of feel like sanding this down, getting a little bit of a better stick to my coatings here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some 120 grit paper and get started on that and start sanding. Alright, so now I'm going to grab some microfiber and some isopropyl alcohol. Just kind of douse down this rag, and I think just kind of get off any sanding debris. Alright, so now that we have everything cleaned off, we're going to go through, just kind of lay everything out so that we can hit everything with primer. I'm just going to use a standard Krylon primer, straightforward, nothing fancy. primer has dried. Everything looks pretty good. It's got a nice, I did about 2 coats there on everything. Everything looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and start off the first coating of this truck bed liner. I'm gonna start off pretty light for the first coat. We'll see kind of how it lays on and how it dries, and then we'll add more coats as we go. But start off light to begin with. This is way stronger than standard spray painters, but the velocity of the spray coming out of here is pretty intense. Sprays out. You have to stay kind of far away from your surface because it's gonna go on thick if you get too close. Overall, this stuff sprays on pretty nice though. Looks cool. Alright, so moved these over into a different area to dry, but I've added a second coat to everything and it is looking great. This coating turned out to be way tougher feeling than I thought it would. I guess I just never really messed with the spray on truck bed liner, but it turned out to be pretty awesome stuff. I feel like this is gonna stand up really well to weather. I was scratching it pretty hard, you know, with my finger. Can't get it to scratch off. Took a little bit of a key to it, and if you press hard with a key, of course, you can start to get to peel up, but I had to push pretty hard. I did it here in an area where there wasn't any exposed paint, so it's gonna be underneath the covers here anyways, but man, I just love the way it looks. It turned out really freaking good. Now I don't have to worry about that piece being mismatched. I think the black will look pretty good. Kind of just will give a good contrast here to the white. So I think it'll overall it's a pretty good finish for a spray can job. This is really just to hold me over until I eventually get a roof rack or something. I don't know, it depends. Maybe I'll keep it. I'm not sure. But I think it's great. One of the things I noticed is the original, these eBay caps that I bought, they clip down into these slots pretty decent, but it was a little bit flimsy and I was a little bit worried they would blow off in the wind. And then when I took the front covers off, I realized, here's the original ones. This is the original. Yeah, I realized you can see there the previous people who installed this, or maybe it's OEM. I'm pretty sure this is from whoever did this before. They put some sort of epoxy to hold these end caps down, so they epoxied right next to all the clips. So I think what I would like to do is kind of do the same thing and make sure it doesn't fall off. So I just bought this Loctite 5-minute epoxy, and I'm not going to go into much detail, but essentially what I'm going to do is just throw a little dab of it on each one of these clips here, just so that it holds better and doesn't flip up in the wind, because like I said, it seemed like they could come undone pretty easily, and I don't want to accidentally pop one of those off and deal with the same situation I'm currently in, or was currently in. But yeah, I think overall this turned out really well. Dried. This has been sitting now for about 48 hours since the last coat, so let's go ahead and start installing this. We'll show you the finished product. turned out awesome. Wow, let's take a look. Let's close and see. Kind of like the black contrast in the white. Looks pretty good. Check this out from up here. I actually ended up not having to epoxy these pieces. I just put all the newer ones on and they clipped into place real well. So that was nice. Yeah, look at this. Feels way more rugged and durable. Can throw some kayaks up here now, brush up against the edges, not have any issues. If I scratch the paint, then I can just touch it up with that truck bed liner whenever I need to. I think it looks pretty sick. Yeah, overall, I'd say it looks awesome. Oh, I'm missing, I need to put that piece in, but yeah, the fit's good. The painted finish looks awesome. I'd say overall this was a successful, somewhat of a hack, because I couldn't get a matching white paint. So for any of you guys out there wanting to try this out, it was super easy to do. I think it looks good, and yeah, pretty simple, easy little modification that makes, in my opinion, a pretty big difference in the look. It was like overall, probably spent a total of maybe between primer and paint and some sandpaper, less than 20 bucks on all the parts to do this. And I think it looks awesome. Pretty stoked about it. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in any more GX470 content. I'll be posting tons more coming up. Just got new wheels and tires today, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm not going to show them, you'll just have to wait and tune in for the next one. Alright, see ya everyone.